A Home Energy Systems Guide. Chapter 1. Energy Systems in the Home. Heating and Cooling Info. Take a whole house energy efficiency approach. Contact your local utility company and see if they do energy audits, or possibly hire an independent energy auditor for an examination. It's just common sense. A thermogram is a photograph which shows where the heat escapes from the house. Consider a wood furnace/wood stove for heating if you live up north. Fireplaces, though romantic, are very inefficient. Consider an airtight wood stove instead, placed directly in front of the fireplace, and open the wood stove door when you feel romantic. Be safe though. Put a firewall of concrete blocks and/or metal sheets around all surrounding walls. Keep the stove itself at least 3 feet from a wall. For added protection, I used to use a double layer of stovepipe, putting one inside the other. You can cook on your wood stove. If you're really enterprising, buy the kits that transform old oil drums into wood stoves, or get a local welder to make you one. Wood can get expensive. You could cut your own to save money. A cheap source of firewood is to drive around and see where people are building or working on a house. Most will gladly let you save them the hassle of hauling the old wood away and cut it up for the wood stove. Get on mailing lists to receive junk mail and subscriptions to free magazines and use it for fuel. I never paid for heating oil. I would get it hotter in my house than any house heated with oil at a cost of $0. I enjoyed burning the wood because it was simple and I saved a lot of money. Firewood. Number 559. U.S. Forest Service. Washington, D.C. 20013. fs.fed.us. Ask about free firewood cutting program. If you have an unused fireplace, close the flue, put glass doors over it to keep heat from escaping up the chimney, or hook an airtight wood stove up to it. Weather strip around doors as well as windows. Buy a tank of oil in the summer when the costs are lower. Newer model furnaces are more efficient than older models, but it's usually cheaper to keep fixing an older furnace until the unit is 15 years old. Gas furnaces heat the air and blow it through ductwork. The Annual Fuel Utilization Efficiency (AFUE) rating measures how efficiently a furnace converts gas into heat, measured as a percentage. The higher that percentage, the better the furnace at heating the house and the less carbon it gives off. Oil furnaces are used mostly in older houses in the Northeast and Midwest, in regions where furnace oil is widely sold from oil delivery trucks. It's better to install the oil tank in the basement rather than outside, where it can rust and the oil can be stolen. Some tanks leak. If a lot of oil leaks into the ground, the homeowner is responsible for an expensive cleanup. Clean your furnace filters every few months. If it's an air vent furnace, seal all cracks and holes in the vents with either caulking or metallic tape. If your gas furnace is not connected to the water heater, shut off the pilot light during the summer. If you need a new furnace, some utility companies sell and install them at low prices. Your best bet is simple: no maintenance electric baseboard units. When you heat your home in the winter, a good idea is to keep the furnace at about 60 degrees and use little electric or kerosene space heaters to heat up your room. Don't heat the whole house if you are just using one room. Shut the radiators down in rooms that aren't being used. Keep furnaces and air conditioners well maintained. Make sure the attic door is shut tight. Buy some good storm doors. To save as much as hundreds of dollars a year on electricity, make certain that any new appliances you purchase, especially air conditioners and furnaces, are energy efficient. Information on the energy efficiency of major appliances is found on Energy Guide labels required by federal law. Check with your electric utility to learn if it has a program to help reduce the costs of any appliance purchases. Enrolling in load management programs and off-hour rate programs offered by your electric utility may save you up to $100 a year in electricity costs. Call your electric utility for information about these cost-saving programs. If you want heat, open the curtains to let the sun in. If you want it cooler, close the curtains to keep the sunlight from coming in. To reflect heat away from the attic in the summer, make up several sheets of cheap plywood with aluminum foil stapled to them, and they will reflect back the heat coming in from the sun. Courtyards protect your area from hot winds. A room AC may be cheaper than central. Use it less at lower volumes. Try out a zone system if using a central system. Use fans instead of AC. High humidity helps you feel warmer in the winter. Get several plants or simply boil some water into the air. Put heat reflectors on the back of radiators. Get a big, thick extra blanket. The darker a radiator, the more it absorbs heat. Consider painting radiators a dull brown. Put a silver tin backboard behind it to reflect heat off it. Get your heating and AC system cleaned every year. Remove any obstructions like curtains from heaters. Wear an extra sweater in your house during the winter. Make fireplace logs out of rolled up newspapers. During the winter, if using your clothes dryer, vent it in indoors to bring heat in. When using hot water in the winter, leave it in for a few extra minutes to provide heat to the house. Close off unused rooms to save heat/air conditioning. The major places to caulk for energy conservation are around door and window frames, between the house framing and the foundation, where the house meets the roof, and in the attic. If your oil furnace breaks down, consider a partial or total conversion to the more efficient natural gas furnace. To save on heating costs, turn the thermostat off before you leave in the morning, use a small, portable heater in your bedroom and in the bathroom, close off rooms you aren't using and turn the heat off there. Alternative energy is best. Some European natives simply wrap a blanket around themselves when sitting around in the winter, or just wear 3 extra sweaters. Buy an electric blanket for your bed. Many department stores also sell body heat reflecting body pads for your bed. Check the state government for energy saving programs. If your house is heated by water, putting 1 part antifreeze with 5 parts water will increase efficiency. If you plan to live at your home for a while, consider replacing that old furnace with a new, more efficient one. In the summer, leave your 100-foot garden hose out Indiana the sun with the nozzle coming through a window in your kitchen. Use this water for washing dishes, etc. If you live in a hot climate, a good idea to prevent heat entry is to paint your roof either white or with reflective, aluminum, roof paint. White absorbs heat much less than black roofing shingles. If you have old vents in your house left over from the old days, plug them up with anything to prevent cold air from getting through. Old clothes packed in tightly are good. Close all closet doors and unused rooms to prevent good hot air from being wasted in heating those rooms. Air conditioner info. Air conditioners use a lot of energy. Try to keep them as the only appliance on an outlet if possible. Before you buy your AC, check it for noise level. If you live up north, remove it every fall. The technology of room air conditioners have improved dramatically from a decade ago. Room air conditioners go from 3000 BTUs per hour to 30,000 plus BTUs per hour. Many have a thermostat that shuts them off when the room is cool enough. They range from quiet to loud. You can check the energy efficiency rating/EER on the Energy Guide tag to compare different air conditioners. You can program some models to turn on at a certain time. Some have a remote control. If you live in the south, you probably have a central air conditioning system that cools the whole house through a system of ducts. They are rated by the Seasonal Energy Efficiency Rating, SEER, which measures how much cooling the system gives off. The biggest problem with central air conditioning systems are that they aren't installed correctly and there are leaks or gaps in the ductwork through which cold air escapes in spaces that aren't meant to be cooled or heated, like the basement, the attic or crawl spaces. If you already have a furnace that uses ducts for heating, the ducts are in place to install a central air conditioner easily. If you have no ducts, it will get expensive to put ducts throughout the house. An alternative is to buy several room air conditioners for the rooms you use. ACs are poor insulators to protect you from the cold. Buy an AC that's easy to clean every month, i.e. simply remove the filter and wash it. Some ACs have reverse cycles that can heat a room, good for mild climates that don't get too cold. The best way to save on AC bills is to buy a one-room model and use it instead of using a central unit AC. When I was poor in college in Gainesville, Florida, I survived a summer in an air conditionerless apartment by hanging 2 ceiling fans from the wall that were about a foot apart from where I sat and slept. Some utility companies do free home energy usage inspections. Call the number on your bill and ask about any home conservation programs they might have. Position the refrigerator and AC units away from the sun. Cover the window facing the refrigerator during the summer and possibly build a shade cover for the AC unit. Clean or replace your air conditioner's filter regularly. Don't block vents on the inside and outside of the house. Insulate your house to keep cold air in just like you insulate a house to keep warm air in. During the day, close your curtains to keep the sunlight out, which heats the air in the house. Close the room door when running the room air conditioner. At night, shut the air conditioner off and open the windows. Ceiling fans are a reasonable substitute. Electrical gadgets and lights generate heat. Shut them off when you're not using them. Geothermal energy/heat pump info. There are devices to draw out geothermal energy, also known as earth heat, from the ground, which reach down, pump it up and use it to heat homes. This is currently being done in Iceland and Oregon with high success rates. Proponents say that in cold climates, they could wipe out the use of heating oil with both central and single unit geothermal devices that use the hot water that's stored in the Earth's surface. The current commercial device that uses this concept is called the heat pump. Heat pumps can cool the air in the summer and heat it in the winter cheaply. There are 3 types: ground source, air-to-air, water source. A ground source/GS heat pump system is an electrically powered set of pipes filled with antifreeze that circulate spread out in a 10 to 20 foot coil/looped pipe underground just below the surface, absorbing the ground's warmth and transferring it to the hot water and heating system. In the summer, the heat pump attached to it can be reversed such that it sucks the hot air out of your home. The system is made up of 3 parts: looped coil, heat pump, ducts. The efficiency of heat pumps is measured by the unit's heating seasonal performance factor/HSPF. The ratings go from 6.8, the minimum level allowed, to about 10. Heat pumps are getting better. They are now quite effective even in very cold climates, but the downside is the initial, upfront fee to set them up. eia.doe.gov/cneaf/solar.renewables/page/rea_data/gl.html. ghpc.org, GeoExchange, Geothermal Heat Pump Consortium. geothermal.marin.org, Geothermal Resource Council. eair.energy.gov/geothermal, geothermal technologies. Geothermal Heat Pump Consortium. 701 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. 20004. 888 All 4 Geo. geoexchange.org. Geothermal Education Office. 664 Hillary Drive, Tiburton, California 94920. 800-866-4436. Ensemble.com/GEO. International Ground Source. Heat Pump Association. 482-90 Cordell S. Oklahoma State U. Stillwater, Oklahoma 74078. 800-626-4747. Fax 405-744-5283. igshpa.okstate.edu. U.S. DOE. Geothermal Division. 1000 Independence Avenue, SW. Washington, D.C. 20585. 202-586-5340. DOE.gov. Energy.gov. In-floor radiant heating systems. There are 2 types of in-floor radiant heating systems. 1. Plastic tubing installed on the subfloor, then covered with some manner of finished flooring where water flows through, fed from the furnace or heat source, which could be an oil or gas furnace, solar panels, or the water heater. 2. Some kind of duct system heated by electricity. Some have a central thermostat. Some have a central thermostat and zone thermostats in each room. In a small house, you just need one system. In a big house, there is a different system for every floor. Some are sold as do-it-yourself kits. Most are installed by a professional in the HVAC field. energiesaverse.gov/your_home/space_heating_cooling/index.cfm directenergy.com en.wikipedia.org/wiki/underfloor_heating infloor.com infloorheatingsystems.com radiantbarrier.com radiantcompany.com radiantdesigninstitute.com Insulation info. Insulate your house heavily. Weatherstrip from both the inside, then go outside and do it from there. Check for holes and cracks and seal them up. All plumbing utilities and electrical outlets cause air leaks that let heat out in the winter and in during the summers, so seal them up. Check for open fireplace dampers. Put an extra sheet of fiberglass insulation sheets on your attic floor. Even old blankets will help. Insulation keeps heat in and keeps the hot air out during the summer. Insulate the garage wall connected to your house. Caulk the area around your garage door. If you don't plan to use it during the winter, hang several blankets over it for insulation. Insulate the crack where the chimney connects to the house. A rubber mat or an old carpet under your regular carpet helps insulate the house. Shove an extra layer of pink insulation onto the ceiling of your basement. When building a house, after you put your fiberglass insulation in between the 2x4 frames, some people staple a sheet of plastic in before installing the gyprock to add a vapor barrier. They also put a sheet of plastic down before nailing down the floor. Go into the basement and shove insulation into the spot where concrete meets the wall if there are open spots there. Wrap the pink insulation around heating ducts and pipes or buy the insulation wrap at the hardware store and do it. It will save a lot of money on heating costs. Fill all holes around pipes and wires with caulking or insulation. If building with cement blocks, fill the middle holes with sand for extra insulation. If you have ducts for a hot air system, insulate them just like you would a hot water heater pipe. Check them for leaks. Insulate the attic and windows. If you're really energy conscious, pick one room like your bedroom and pad it with tar paper, styrofoam insulation, and paneling to make it your super insulated room. Try acoustic tiles for the ceiling and a few old carpets on the floor under the real carpet. Ask your local utility company if they do free insulation inspections on your house. If you ever get siding, get a layer of styrofoam insulation as they install it. michigan.gov/documents/b-winterwise_138994_7.htm, b-winterwise, manage your winter energy bills. DO. Material and Structures Program. 1000 Independence Avenue. SW. Washington, D.C. 20585. DOE.gov. Energy.gov. Free Insulation Fact Sheet. Cellulose Insulation MFG. Association. 136 South Kiowa St. Dayton, Ohio 45402. 937-222-2462. Fax, 937-222-5794. Cellulose.org. Insulation Contractors Association of America. 1321 Duke St. Number 303. Alexandria, Virginia 22314. 703-739-0356. Fax, 703-739-0412. Insulate.org. North American Insulation Manufacturers Association. 44 Canal Center Plaza. Alexandria, Virginia 22314. 703-684-0084. Fax, 703-684-0427. Owens Corning Insulation Hotline. Owens Corning Corp. Toledo, Ohio 43659. 800 Get Pink. owenscorning.com. Lighting info. You can use linear fluorescent and energy-efficient compact fluorescent lamps/CFLs in fixtures throughout your home even though they have mercury in them. If you're really keen, buy fluorescent bulbs or even conversion kits for your home lighting. Turn off lights in rooms you're not using or consider installing timers, photocells, or occupancy sensors. Instead of lighting an entire room, light just the section you're using. Consider three-way lamps. Do your work during the day to avoid using electric lights at night. Photovoltaic/PV lights for outdoors convert sunlight into light energy. Ordinary fluorescent lights work just as well as overpriced grow lights for growing things. Check with your local utility company about information and a possible program to help you buy efficient lighting equipment. Lutron.com. Lightbulbrecycling.com. Green Lights Program. U.S. EPA. 401 St. SW. Number 6202J. Washington, D.C. 20460. 202-775-6650. Fax, 202-775-6680. EPA.gov. Free information. Chapter 2. Energy Systems in the Home 2. Mercury in fluorescent bulbs. Mercury is toxic, but as long as the bulbs don't break, you save energy, therefore money, using them. In 1992, mercury-containing lamps were added to the United States Environmental Protection Agency's EPA list of hazardous substances. The EPA's regulatory threshold of 2 mg/liter is usually exceeded by mercury-containing lamps. Each CFL contains approximate 0.0008 ounces of mercury. Mercury fever thermometers contain over 21 times this amount. They do not pollute if disposed of properly, and the parts are 100% recyclable. Many doctors and scientists believe there is no safe amount of mercury for the human body. EnergyStar.gov, Fact Sheet. Mercury. Thermostats info. Electronic setback thermostats are better than the older model electromechanical models. You can set them to go down at night while you sleep and during the day when you're not home. It's not that hard to program them. All of them have a manual switch that you can use to set the temperature to whatever you want when you want. Some thermostats are battery powered. Some draw power from the system. Turn the thermostat down when you leave for the day and turn it down just before you go to bed. Better yet, get a programmable thermostat which you can vary for time and different places in the house, usually up to 6 different settings. For example, you can set it for low at night during the winter, then set it for high 15 minutes before you get up. It can be used to regulate heat in the winter and cool air in the summer. There are 5 types of automatic and programmable thermostats: electromechanical, digital, hybrid, occupancy, light sensing. Most range in price from $30 to $100 except for occupancy and light sensing thermostats, which cost around $200. Get the free pamphlet Automatic and Programmable Thermostats from the Department of Energy, 800-363-3732, DOE.gov, energy.gov. The location of the thermostat can affect performance. Place it in a stable part of the house away from direct sunlight or cold like drafts. Water heaters info. Water heaters corrode after about 10 years. They can be gas-powered, oil, electric, solar-powered or jaw pump operated. If you plan to stay at your home for a while, you should consider buying an efficient water heater. There are several different types. Conventional water storage, electric, natural gas, oil and propane, where the water is constantly heated. Demand water heaters which do not have storage tanks and heat the water only as needed. The drawback is limited flow rate. Heat pump water heaters/geothermal, which are effective only in moderate climates where the temperature range is about 40 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Tankless coil and indirect water heaters, where the water is heated by a pipe or coil going through the home's heating system or space heater. Solar-powered water heater and other solar energy, which usually consist of a batch collector/solar panels and a water storage tank. Federal and state government programs will kick in for up to half. Contact the relevant departments of energy. Call the National Heating and Cooling Information Center, 800-523-2929, AK, hi, 800-523-4700, and ask about government information and grant program for solar energy. Look for systems certified by the Solar Rating and Certification Corp or the Florida Solar Energy Center. There are even IRS deductions for using alternative energy. Get booklet number 903, Energy Credit for Individuals, irs.gov. When looking for a new water heater, consider the energy factor/F, which is the rating based on recovery efficiency, how efficiently the heat from the energy source is transferred to the water, standby losses, the percentage of heat lost and cycling losses. The higher the F, the more efficient the water heater. Solar is best, heat pumps next and electric resistance next. There are 4 ways to save on your water heater. Use less hot water. Turn the hot water heater thermostat down. Insulate your hot water heater. Buy a new, more efficient one. Buy a water heater insulation blanket which goes over the water heater like a jacket. Buy the easy-to-install foam-type insulation for the water pipes. It all adds up. Turn the thermostat on your water heater way down to just above lukewarm. Install a hot water heater timer control to shut it off at night and when you're not at home. Get the free pamphlet selecting a new water heater from the DOE.gov, energy.gov. Repair leaky faucets. Install aerators in faucets and low-flow shower heads. Showers use less water than baths. During the summer, you can shut your hot water heater off and wash up at the lake. Heat your dish cleaning water on the stove. Wash clothes with cold water. Florida Solar Energy Center. 1679 Clear Lake Road. Cocoa, Florida 32922-5703. 407-638-1000. Fax, 407-638-1010. fscc.ucf.edu. Solar Rating and Certification Corp. 122C St. N.W. 4th FL. Washington, D.C. 20001. 202-383-2570. solar-rating.org. Tankless Water Heaters. tanklessesgreen.com/tankless_knowledge_center. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/instant_hot_water_dispenser. Windows info. The greatest heat loss is through doors and windows. The technology of new windows can save a lot on heat loss or heat entry in the summer. The factors to consider are: glazing coat, type of frame, aluminum, wood, vinyl, fiberglass, etc. The aluminum frames aren't very good up north because they get cold and transfer this cold into the house. Single, double-paned or triple-paned. When looking for new windows, look for the National Fenestration Rating Council's label. The lower the U value, the better the insulation. 0.35 or lower is best. Air leakage ratings of 0.3 cubic feet per minute are good. Spectrally selective coatings reflect heat back, so they're good for warm climates. Low emissivity/low E coatings reduce heat loss. Modern windows have either 2 or 3 panes of glass separated by air or a gas, argon or krypton, to insulate the house. There are many window styles. Some are awning, bay, casement, double hung, hopper, sliding. The U factor measures thermal performance, which is a window's ability to conduct heat. The R factor describes insulating ability. The window with the highest R factor and the lowest U factor is the most energy efficient. The solar heat gain coefficient is the amount of sunlight that gets into the house. A high number is good up north because it helps heat the house in the winter, but bad in a hot climate where you want to keep cool. Visible light transmittance measures the amount of visible light entering a room. The higher the value means the more light getting in. The Energy Star Label program is a federal government initiative where the label identifies what region a window is suitable for. If you have single-paned windows, consider either new double-paned or storm windows. The less windows, the more economical. If you live up north, every winter tape thick sheets of plastic over the inside of all your windows for insulation. Use weather stripping around your windows. This can be as simple as putting pieces of cotton from old t-shirts into the cracks or going to the hardware store and buying some weather stripping tape or a caulking gun and some caulking tubes. Open several windows for good cross ventilation in the summer. Heat rises, so open the top story windows to send it out. Open the windows, shut the curtains and run the fans on cooler days instead of the air conditioner. Open curtains to let heat from the sun in during the day. Shutters are an alright idea. Some people keep the shutters closed all winter and put either old clothes or pink insulation in between the shutter and the window. Planting deciduous trees on the south side of your house will help keep it cool for the summer, and because the leaves fall off, will let the sun shine through the windows in the winter. Putting big windows on the south side will let heat in during the winter. Put a window in the south part of your home to let sunlight in for heat in the winter. Remove window screens in the fall to let sunlight shine through. Hot air rises, so open the attic and top floor windows during the summer to let the hot air escape. Draw your shades to keep out the sunlight. Keep the storm windows on a few windows because it insulates against heat coming in. Use fans. National Fenestration Rating Council. 1300 Spring St. Number 120. Sliver Spring, Maryland 20910. 301-589 NFRC. Fax, 3011-588-0854. nfrc.org. Window Rating Council. National Wood Window and Door Association. 1400 East Toohey Avenue. Number 470. Des Plaines, Illinois 60018. 800-223-2301. Fax, 847-299-1286. nwwda.org. Reversible window fans for sale. A reversible window fan brings air in one window and pushes air out of another window as an alternative to air conditioning. acehardwareoutlet.com. air-conditioner-home.com. air-n-water.com. air-n-water.com/fan_window.html, window exhaust fans. airvent.com. aplussupply.com/airking/air circulator/window.htm, airking commercial grade air circulators, window fans, table fans. Appliances. atrendyhome.com/coolingfans.html, electric fans. purityplanet.com, window fans. quietcoolfan.com. reversible-fans.best-price.com, reversible window fans. reviews.bizrate.com. HVAC websites. comfortinstitute.org/consumer/reports.htm, heating and air conditioner contractor selection tips. DIYfixit.com. doityourself.com/HVAC/index.htm. experthomeadvice.com/heating-cooling. handymanwire.com/heating.html. hvac-talk.com. thisoldhouse.com/toh/heating-cooling. warmair.com. waterheaterrescue.com. Electric generators for sale, mostly gas-powered. buyerpricer.com/power-generators. diesel-power.com. calibex.com/power-generators. eomultisource.com. generac.com. gopower.com. hieshomeenergy.com. hyundaipowerequipment.com. nextag.com/power-generators, northerntool.com, peakpowertools.com, americangenerators.com, 800-424-0007, colemanpowermate.com, 800-445-1805, deliveredsolutians.com, 800-929-0448. DMI Diesel Generators, Canton, Texas 75103, 877-567-1195, DMIUSAinc.com, egens.com, 800-380-1776, Guardian Natural Gas Generators, POB 8, Waukesha, Wisconsin 53187, 414-544-0770, Generac.com, Hardy Generators and Tractors, 800-341-7027, HardyDiesel.com, Diesel Generator, Honda Generators, 5303 Northwest 111th Drive, Grimes, Iowa 50111, 800-234-8989, Honda.com, KohlerCO.com, 800-220-2291, NORTHERN-ONLINE.com, 800-533-5545, Pod9.com, 800-484-6360, TracyEngineering.com, 800-658-7223, Generators, Turbine Diesel Generators, 8440 Belvedere Avenue, Sacramento, California 95826, 800-380-1776, YamahaGenerators.com, 800-900-8856.